Gary, tell me about your business that you opened in 2003. It's Northwest Sky Sports.
Northwest Sky Sports.
And you teach people how to fly gliders.
Yes.
So say I'm somebody who has an interest in that, which I do. I don't have to get certified, or I don't have to have an FAA required physical like if I was to solo in an aircraft.
That's right. You don't need a physical to, you don't have to have a medical certification to fly gliders.
Now, why is that?
I don't know why they gave us that exemption. It's something that's been grandfathered in. It's been that way ever since the beginning, and I guess they just figured we self-certify. It's not like you can go out there, you know, without being healthy. You do need to state that you are healthy and fit and everything. You wouldn't want to fly if you weren't, but
right.
You don't have to get a physical.
You don't have to. Okay, so who are the people that are generally coming to you and saying, I want to learn to fly? Are these people who you've maybe taken up and they've gone up for a ride and it hooked them like it did when you read National Geographic?
That's kind of part of the idea. I give rides in order to show people how beautiful it is here, but also to try to get them interested in getting a license and learning how to fly. And we have people young and old. I soloed a gal that was 15 last year. It's really great to teach young people because they're so sharp and they learn so quick. But we also get guys that are in their 40s and 50s that have always wanted to learn how to fly. It's been something that's been a dream of theirs, and finally they've got the time and money and they come out and take lessons. And it takes a little longer if you've waited till you're 40 or 50 to start, but it's still not that hard to do.
So what kind of a time commitment does somebody need to sort of set aside?
I tell people that it takes between 20 and 40 lessons to solo, and then I also tell them you can add 1 or 2 lessons for every year above the age of 18 that you are.
Oh, really?
It just takes longer if you're older. If you've never flown, and you can spread that out over a couple of years if you want, or you can do an intensive thing and do it in a month if you want.
So what are you looking at as far as cost?
It ends up being about $100 a lesson, more or less. There's no joining fee or anything like that. You just come out, take lessons, pay as you go. So it might take $2,000 to $4,000 to $1,000, something like that, depending on how quick you learn.
Fairly reasonable.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
So then what about once you have, is it a certification or a license?
It's actually, you're not licensed to be a pilot, you're certified to be a pilot.
Certified to be a pilot. So once you have that certification and you hold that, where do you go with it from there? Do you rent gliders? Do most people rent, or do most people buy?
You can rent a glider, and you can rent gliders all over the world. No matter where you go, there's glider operations and you can rent them. Most people, if they want to get into it seriously, buy their own glider. And you can get a really decent glider for as little as $4,000 to $6,000 for a used older glider that's still in good shape, still completely airworthy, or you can spend $200,000 on a brand new, state-of-the-art, right from the factory, fiberglass, beautiful, sexy glider. So it doesn't take a lot of money. A lot of times guys will go together, 2 or 3 guys will go together, pool their money, and buy a glider for $10,000 or $20,000 that does a great job.
So what's the big difference? I mean, the price obviously is a big difference, but what's the big difference in the actual glider that justifies such a huge price difference?
Well, the age of the glider. The older gliders, they're metal and fabric covered gliders, and they do a good job, but they're not nearly as sexy as the new gliders. The new gliders, with the fiberglass finish, they're just, you want to touch them. They're so wonderful. And,
yeah.
If you're competing, a lot of guys fly in contests. There's regional contests, and there's a national contest. Every 2 years there's a world contest, and they determine the best glider pilots in the world, and it's extremely competitive.
So Gary, before we leave, what final words would you have to say to somebody if they were kind of on the fence about doing this? They've been wanting to fly for a long time. Maybe they don't want to, fly in a regular plane. They kind of leaning towards gliders. What would you say? Do it.
Come on out and take a ride.
Come on out and take a ride.
And if, I get a lot of people that think it's going to be scary. A lot of times people, one person will want to go and the other person's like, oh, I don't know about going up in a glider. And every single time when they come out and see the airplanes flying, see how it works, they go up for a ride, they get out of the airplane and they say the same thing every time. I don't know why I thought that was going to be scary. That wasn't scary. That was the coolest thing I've ever done in my whole life.
Yeah.
And I get people get out of the glider all the time and say it was the coolest thing they've ever done.
Very good.
It's very cool, very
Nice.
beautiful, a lot of fun. The only reason to fly a glider is for fun. It's not practical. It's not transportation.
Yeah.
It's just for
pure fun. I like those kinds of things in life that are just pure fun.
Yeah.
That's a good parting note there. So, Gary, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Nice meeting you.
Thanks for having me.
I'll maybe be sitting behind you in one of your planes, one of your gliders.
No, we'll
here
put you
soon.
up front. I sit in back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you heard it. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time on Localite. And remember, take care of each other.
Do you have a guest idea? Let us know. Go to localite.com.